ओम ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति
ओम ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति
मूर्तिभेद विभागिने
मूर्तिभेदविभागिने
व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय
व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय
दक्षिणामूर्तये
दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः।
सदाशिवसमारम्भाम्
सदाशिवसमारम्भाम्
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम्
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम्
वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्
वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्।
ॐ सहना भवतु
ॐ सहना भवतु
सहनौ भुनक्तु
सहनौ भुनक्तु
सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै
सह वीर्यं करवावहै
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु
मा विद्विषावहै
मा
विद्विषावहै।
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
ॐ
शान्ति
शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं
ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं
व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम्
व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम्
अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम्
अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम्
अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्
अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्
यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः
यं ब्रह्मा
वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः
स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः
वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः
वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः
ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः
ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा
पश्यन्ति
योगिनः
यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः
यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः।
Yesterday we saw this. Karpanya doshopahatah svabhavah pritchami tvam dharma sammudhachetaah yachreyasyan nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam nahi prapashyami mamapnutyat यच्छोकमुच्छोषणमिन्द्रियाणाम् अवाप्य भूमावसपत्नमृद्धं राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्. 2 verses we have seen. Arjuna has explained his own nature, his own disposition of mind, and he said, Karpanya dosha upahat svabhavah. I think my mind becomes like a miser because as a human being, everybody has to know oneself. That's why the human birth is given to us. But if person knows without knowing, it's called karpanya. He says, it seems my mind is become karpanya dosha. There is a defect, upahat svabhavah, and also dharma sammuda chetaha. He thought what should be done, what should not be done. To kill Bhishma Drona, is it dharma? Or ahimsa paramo dharma? What is dharma? What is adharma? In between, my chetaha, my intellect become deluded. Sammudaha tvam pruchami. He says, a person, one whose mind is full of karpanya dosha, one whose intellect is totally deluded in taking decision of dharma and adharma, that I, tvam pruchami, I am asking you, and yet nishchidam shreyasyat, whatever good for me, what is the better for me, tat me bruhi, please you tell me, bruhi. And Shreya, we have seen here the meaning of Shreya is nothing but Atmagyanam. Aham te shishya, he says, I am your student, Mam Shadhi, you please teach me, and Tvam Prapannam, I am already surrendered to you. And we have seen each and every detail of this shloka. And last, he said, Karpanya dosha. He says, Nahi prapashya. This is the last verse. He says, I have grief inside me. Shokaha means I am grieving. Shokaha means I have grief. And that grief, I don't think it will go, even I will get the kingdom of whole earth, even kingdom of whole suras, means devatas, but still this grief which dried my all sense organs, that remove, I don't see. Nahi prapashyami, I don't see. Mama apanudyat, the removal of shokam, the grief, that which dried up my all sense organ, that won't go, even I will get kingdom of earth, or I become a Indra of all asuras. So this verse proves, really speaking, Arjuna want only Atma Jnanam, not simple. He would like to know something. So the meaning of Shreyaha, Karpanyaha, and this Shokam, everything is jail, and it proves Arjuna is interested in only one thing, and that is Atma Jnanam. And Arjuna's mind, only one thing was there, that to take Atma Jnanam, we have to take sannyasa. And this, to take sannyasa, is favorable situation right now for Arjuna, because if he becomes sannyasa, then need not to fight with Kauravas. That's why he is interested in Shreyaha. If Shreyaha then becomes sannyasa, and sannyasa is good for Arjuna. And still, one thing is positively, Shokam, he has grief. And he want to come out from this grief. That's why he says, Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. Both sentences are very important. One who really would like to become Sishya. Shadimam means teach me. Tvam Prapannam means I am surrendered to you. After this, now again, this mic, like all media person, they are changing their mic and asking one by one to everyone. Same way Vedavyasa is changing the mic. Now this mic has gone to again back to Sanjaya, and Sanjaya is narrated to Krishna. Because now he doesn't speak anything, Arjuna, so who will speak? So Krishna still has not started. So who will speak? Then Sanjaya. So this 9th verse is Sanjaya Uvacha Eva Muktva Rushikesham Gudakeshaf Parantapaha Nayotsya Iti Govindam Uktva Tushnim Babhuvaha. He says Sanjaya Uvacha. Sanjaya said, in Anvaya we will see. Sanjaya said to Bharata, means our Dhritarashtra, he says, Gudakeshaha Parantapaha Rushikesham Evam Uktva. Gudakeshaha, again the name of Arjuna. Parantapaha, also a name of Arjuna. Rushikesham, Krishna's Evam Uktva, having spoken to Krishna in this manner. Evam Uktva, in this manner. Uktva, having said to Rishikesha, means Krishna, and who said Gudakesha, and what he said to Krishna, Na Yotse. Now he is confirmed. Na Yotse means I won't fight. This is in future. I will not fight. I shall not fight. Iti. This is inverted comma. Na Yotse, I shall not fight. Yotse, I shall fight. Na Yotse, I shall not fight. Iti. Govindam Uktva. Again he said to Krishna, and then Tushnim Babhuva. Then he becomes silent. So, what is Gudakesha? We know, I think once I have said, the meaning of Gudakesha means Gudakayaha Ishaha. The meaning of Gudaka is sleep. Ishaha means master. One who is the master of sleep is called Gudakesha. So one who frequently goes to sleep, that person is called tamasic person. So when it says Arjuna is Gudakesha, it means he doesn't have predominant tamoguna. Whether I have said or not, but I would like to, share one thing. There is one person in Pujya Swamiji's residential course, in 3 years course. He told Pujya Swamiji, I would like to join this 3 years course. Swamiji says, okay. Then he joined the course. Then in the beginning, we start Nom Sahana Avatu, that all prayers, our parampara. Then that person used to close his eyes. And then that eyes remain closed for 1 hour. Then lastly, when Pujya Swamiji said, Om Purnamada Purnamidam, then he opens the eyes. He did for 3 years. He didn't listen anything. It's called Gudaka. He is overpowered, that person. And never means not a single word he listened. And after 3 years, he went to Pujya Swamiji and he confessed. He says, I'm very shameful for myself, but give me one chance. I would like to join another 3 years course. Then again Pujya Swamiji says, okay. It's called Dayananda, no? Because he's always with compassion. He says, okay. Again he joined, and same thing. When prayers starts, Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sadashiva Samarambha, when he closed his eyes and remained closed for 1 hour. This is in one day, 5 classes, 3 years total. How many classes? Well, and then Pujya Swamiji says, you please don't close eyes even during prayers. But he says, what can I do? Suddenly, it's just I am closing my eyes. It's 6 years he spent with closing eyes. It's called Gudaka. So, a person who is the Ishaha, Gudakaya Ishaha, he is not tamasic person. That thing we can prove. And in first chapter, last verse was Rathopasthe Upavishata. Arjuna sat on the seat of chariot. Rathopasthe Upavishat. Upavishat means he sat where? In the seat of chariot. When a person has Rajas Guna, it says person moves a lot, highly active person has predominant Rajoguna. I have seen many persons, even my class also, even while listening also, their one leg is keep on moving, one hand, something, they can't sit simply. Something is moving, like this, keep on moving. So we can say Rajoguna is predominant. But when Arjuna he sat inside the chariot, it proves he also has less Rajoguna. Gudakesha proves Tamoguna, he doesn't have much Tamoguna. Rathopaste Upavishat, it proves he has less Rajoguna, and he says, Shadimam, you teach me. So he's interested in knowledge. So he is a Sattva Guna. So this only one word can prove Arjuna is Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampannivan. That's why Krishna has chosen him. So Gudakeshaha, and again Sanjaya has used Arjuna's another name, Parantapaha. The meaning of Parantapaha is one who is a scorcher for enemies. In the presence of Arjuna, all enemies, they always run away. That much he was furious to kill. So Parantapaha, that Arjunaha Rushikesham evam uktva. He told in this manner to our Krishna, and what he said, na yotse. He says, I shall not fight in any account. I don't like to fight. Na yotse. In future, I never fight. Even after 10 days, if somebody says, I will not fight. Na yotse iti. This some, grammatical point. This iti comes in Sanskrit verse or anyone. This iti always shows inverted comma. When he says na yotse iti, so na yotse, it comes under inverted comma. Somebody speaks something that it shows in inverted comma. How we can see that iti? It shows always this is somebody speaking. So na yotse iti means Arjuna says, I won't fight. And he told to him, Govindam Uktva. He said everything to Krishna. And there is also, we have seen, but I have written now, so always it will be with me. The meaning of Govindam has 2 meanings. One, Gam Vindati, it's called Govindaha. One, protector of cows. Gam means cow. One, the meaning of Vindati is protects. One who protects cow is called Govinda. Simple, because he likes cows. But another meaning of Govinda is Go means Shastra. Shastra, Shastrebhya, with Shastrena Vindati. One who can understand through scriptures is called Govinda. So here the meaning of Go is Shastra. Go bihi means is Shastra. Shastrehi, otherwise Shastrena. Vindati here, grasp, understand. Who can understand through scriptures is called Govinda. He is told to Krishna, I won't fight in Tushnim Babuvaha. Last indication he is given. Now no argument, no reasoning, nothing. Tushnim, he becomes silent. Still, what happened in battlefield, Krishna doesn't start teaching immediately, but something, Krishna smiles at Arjuna. That in 10th verse. Tamuvacha Hrishikeshaha prahassanniva bharata senayoruvayor madhye vishedantamidam vachaha. It means, Anvaya is Bharata. Here Bharata is vocative case of Dhritarashtra. Because from Dhritarashtra, even Duryodhana, even Pandava, all are lineage of Bharatavansha. Bharatakula Vansha, it's called Bharata. Even our country's name also come from Bharatakula. So Sanjaya says, O Bharata, means O Dhritarashtra, what happens in battlefield, he says, Senayoho Ubayo Madhye. Where Krishna and Arjuna was standing between two armies, then Hrishikeshaha Prahassanniva. It seems Krishna's smile. And to whom Krishna's face is like a smiling. He's just, something he would like, some smile has come. And he spoke, Tam Vishidantam Idam Vachaha. Tam means Arjuna. And still, what is the appearance of Arjuna is still Vishidantam. He still is said that to that Arjuna who is said, Idam Vachaha. This sentence, Uvacha. Hrishikeshaha Uvacha Tam Vishidantam. Krishna says this sentence to whom? Our Arjuna. Then there are some discussion why Krishna smiles. When Arjuna was so grieving, he was so sad, why Krishna should smile. So there are some argument. He says, Bharata means name of Dhritarashtra, is a lineage name. Senayo Ubayo Madhye. If you know, there is a story. I don't know whether you don't or know. But Shakuntala's, Dushyant Shakuntala's son was Bharata. And that Bharata, he has grown up inside the forest because Shakuntala was not accepted by Dushyanta because of that some curse. When at that time, our Bharata, this small Bharata, was counting a teeth of lion. And Dushyanta saw this child. He understood this is not some Maharshi's son. It seems he is a Kshatriya's son. Because even small child, how can he always fear of lion? But this child is counting the teeth of lion. It means he's something special. Then he becomes a king and our whole nation becomes Bharata. Because that much he was powerful. So it's Bharata and Dhritarashtra is in his lineage. Senayoho Ubayo Madhye means in the midst of both armies, Prahassan, as though he's smiling. Why he is smiling? There are many reasons why Krishna is smiling at Arjuna. So first reason he says, Krishna thinks after one chapter, my turn has come. Because he will keep on telling and telling and telling. So after one chapter, Krishna is thinking, my turn has come. Second also, Krishna has seen everything. What he has seen, Arjuna's argument, his confusion, even last his surrender. All phases Arjuna has gone through, this all phases Krishna has seen. That's why he laughed. We are also passing through different stages. Same way Arjuna, poor Arjuna also has passed from different phases, even first chapter and second chapter. That's why in last he says, I am your Shishya. That's why he is laughed, Arjuna. Third one is why Krishna is laughed. When in the first chapter he says, Ratham sthapaya sena yoho ubayor madhye ratham sthapaya mechita. He was ordered, Krishna, and that Arjuna is now, he is telling to Krishna, aham te shishya, shadi mam tvam prapan. This conversion, Krishna prahasan, he is smiling. And last, Arjuna is in his mind preparing himself for sannyasa. Rather to fight, Shreya, Shreya, that's why also Krishna laughs. Because he doesn't want to fight, that's why he's planning to take sannyasa. Everything, having seen this situation, prahasanna iva Rishikesha, as though Krishna is smiling at our poor Arjuna, it says, Rishikesha tam vishidantam, who is said that Arjuna idam vachaha. This sentence, Uvacha, he said, he told to Arjuna. So after this, from 11th verse, now Upadesha, teaching will start. But this whole situation proves one thing, to teach or to gain Atma Jnanam, if person is ready, then particular sthanam is not required. Particular place, secluded place, there is a no thing, it's not required, because this dialogue of Arjuna and Krishna proves even midst of army you can have Atma Jnana. Only condition is what? Both his composer, they have both the preparation of mind. Krishna is always ready, he has no problem, but Arjuna is also ready. So it proves even middle of the battlefield, one can gain a knowledge. So this all situation, all this we can give as some. So after this, 11th verse is start. But before 11th verse start, I would like to share something with you. It says in scripture, if one would like to write something, some text, good text, then 6 facets they have to go through. And without these 6, what I have written, the book is not, we can understand as a book. There is a whole verse is there. This 6 topics should cover by a person who would like to write a book. First one is Upakrama Upasamharaha Abhyasaha Apurvata Phalam Arthavadaha Upapattihi. This all together. Upakrama Upasamharaha Abhyasaha Apurvata. Then what is the meaning of Upakramaha? The meaning of Upakramaha means if you are listening, news, then how news come? He always say, the news reader, let me see main news. First we see the main news. That main news, their briefing is called Upakramaha. Then what they are doing in news, then they dilute the news. They explain the one by one. First, main sentence, main headlines, important news, then same news are explained. And lastly, what again they say? Conclusion. And again they explain the main news again. It's called Upakramaha, Upasamharaha. Our Gita starts Ashochyana Nashochastvam Pragyavadancha Basase. So what is the Upakramaha? Ashocyaha. The meaning of Ashocyaha, you need not to grieve. And where is the last Upadesha of Krishna? Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Ahantva Sarva Papebhyaha Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyaha Mokshayishyami Ma Shuchaha. Starts from Ashocyan and even ends with Shuchaha. So what is the topic of Gita? We can say, how can we come out from grief? This is, Shuchaha means shokaha, sorrow. The main topic of Gita is, how can we come out from sorrow? Is Upakrama and Upasamhara proves what is the main topic of text. So Upakrama, Upasamhara, Shuchaha, Abhyasaha. What is the important inside the text? It should be repetition. It's called Abhyasaha. If some small kid is there, we are repeatedly tell them, please do this, please do this. Why? Because something is important. Same way, if some portion is keep on repeating inside the text, it's called Abhyasaha. Repetition is also a part of text. Very important. Apurvata. The meaning of apurvata means uniqueness of subject matter. Whatever written in the text, it should not be in another text. It's called apurvata. Purva na vidyate. It's called apurva. So the subject matter of Atma is not anywhere. So it's called apurvata. Phalam. If you keep on reading the book, there should be some result. We have gained something, no? It's called result. So whatever you read, you can take something, lessons from it. It's called phalam. Fifth thing is arthavadaha, praising. Shansati is called arthavadaha. Here in our India, there are many serials in television, many serials. It's half an hour, one episode, but within a half an hour, many advertisement. This advertisement is called Arthavadaha. It is a praising of their product. And by praising, we try, then we would like to buy that thing. Same way, inside the text, they are praising the subject matter. It's called Arthavadaha, and Upapattihi means reasoning. Why? We are not simply accepted Andhashraddha, but with understanding, with all reasoning, if we learn, it's called Upapattihi. Everything is available in Gita. Sometime we will see, but everything is there. That's why Gita considered is a complete text. These all facets are covered by Vedavyasa in Gita. Otherwise, texts cannot be accepted by scholars without these all facets. So, Upakrama Upasamharaha Abhyasa Purvata Phalam Arthavada Upapattihi Lingat Tatparya Nirnay. This is one shloka is there. And now, second thing. In Chandogya Upanishad, 6th chapter also, this all are covered very well, all 6, beautifully. And here in Gita also. Now, from 11th verse to 25th verse, Krishna's topic of teaching is nothing but to know our real nature. He tried to convince Arjuna what is your and even Bhishma Drona's real nature. So, really speaking, from 11 to 25th verse is nothing but Vedanta. Really speaking, only Vedanta. Krishna has explained to Arjuna. And whenever we speak nature, in English, nature is a little bit different thing. Her nature is not good. His nature is swabhava. But here the nature is swarupam. The meaning of nature is swarupam. And we have seen in Tattva Bodha, what is swarupam? Na vyabhicharati, which never change. It's called swarupam. And we have seen at that time also in our Tattva Bodha, if sugar has sweetness, sweetness is swarupam of sugar. Salty, salt is salty. The saltiness is swarupam of salt. Hot, fire is always hot. This heat, aushriyam, is the nature of fire. So, can we say before 5,000 years before, fire was cold, but nowadays it become heat? We never said. Fire is always hot only. Sugar is always sweet only. It's called swarupam. Na vyabhicharati, one he never changed. It's called swarupam. Same way, what is our real nature? If sugar's real nature is sweetness, if fire's real nature is heat, hot, then what is our real nature? And that real nature is discussed from 11th verse to 25th verse in Gita. There are many lakshanas, there are many, there is a different styles of teaching what is our real swarupam. So Krishna has chosen 6 lakshanas, characteristics. I don't like even character, but lakshana of our own swarupa has been discussed here. And what are their 6 Krishna has discussed? Then I will tell this is that. But first thing Krishna will discuss is Nityaha. Our real nature is Nityaha. Atma one thing will come. And some people are afraid of Atma. They say we like everything, but we don't like to hear this word Atma. Because in every, after they say their Atma has gone somewhere. In Hindi they lay Atma. So they say Jivatma, they are afraid of Atma. But really speaking, the meaning of Atma is not who is sitting inside Jivatma, but the meaning of Atma is one Vyapnoti Sarvam, who is all pervading, it's called Atma. Apnoti Sarvam, Vyapnoti Sarvam is called Atma. So our real nature is Atma only, not body, not our subtle body, but only Atma. But what is Atma? One who is everywhere. Even there is a one word will come, Purushaha. So what is the meaning of Purushaha? There are 2 meanings of Purushaha. One meaning of Purushaha, Purusha Suktam. Everybody we knows. So one Purushaha means Purayati Sarvam. One who fills up everything. It's called consciousness. Purushaha. So Purayati Sarvam is also called Purushaha, which is called Vyatma. Atma and Purusha, everything is same, but definition, etymology is different. Purayati Sarvam. And same way the meaning of Purusha is Navadvare Pure Dehi, one who lives inside this Puram, this city. Pura means city. So we have to see again context. Here Purusha is not male and female, really speaking, but Purusha is always in scripture is human, a person. But Purusha is all-pervading. Atma or Purusha is living inside the Pura. That we have to see context. But same way, our real nature is Atma. And what is the nature of Atma? So 6 facet is discussed by Krishna to Arjuna. So what is our real nature is Nityaha. It will come, I think, in 12th verse. Natvevaham jatu nasam. But the meaning of Nityaha means Kala abaditaha, which is not bound by time. It's called Nityaha. And when we say it is not bound by time, automatically two words will come. Ajaha, Amaraha. The meaning of Ajaha means one who never born. Ja means Jayate. Ajaha, who never borns. So our real nature is we never have birth. Ajaha, and if we have no birth, then we don't have death also. So Ajaha Amaraha automatically connected with Nityaha. So this is our real nature, because always Arjuna is worried, I will kill Bhishma and Drona, but Krishna used to say Bhishma and Drona's real nature is Nityaha. They never die because their real nature is Nityaha. So this topic is discussed in 12th verse. Then again one Krishna will discuss Sat. What is our real nature is Sat, means existence. Sadeva Somyam Idamagra Asit in Chandogya. But the means Sat means is what we say. This is our existence. It's called Sat. Nasato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate satah. That verse in this Krishna will describe Sat. But really speaking, when we say I am, somebody asks, are you there? Then we say, yes, I am. So what is the meaning of I am, you know? In scripture's language, am means is. It's called Sat. And I is called Chit. So Chit cannot live without Chit. Chit means consciousness. So Sat eva Chit, Chit eva Sat. So consciousness and existence both together. They are not separate. We always say, we never say am, we say I am. So I, when we speak, then we are conscious about I. It's called Chit, consciousness, and am means Sat. That's why it's called Satchidanand, we used to say. Always sadhu greets each other, Jai Satchidanand. In their Sat means existence and Chit means consciousness. That Krishna will discuss here in Gita. Then Krishna will again say, what is our real nature? Sarvagataha means we are not limited inside the body, but we are all pervading. Sarvatra gacchati iti sarvagataha. This is our real nature. So we are not limited by our body's limitation. We are not limited by our mind's thinking limitation. Really speaking, we are sarvagataha. That word will also come between this 11th and 25th verse. Fourth, a little bit tricky, that Bhagavan will use in aprameyaha. The meaning of aprameyaha is one which cannot be objectified through our five sense organs. It's called aprameyaha. We will see, then time will come. But pramayaha na vishayaha means this is not knowledge of our five sense organs. I used to say this flashlight, you know, we have that torch. Previously, there is a cell will used to come. If you have seen our torch flashlight, inside there is a two cells we have to wheel inside, and then we can light up. It's called old pattern flashlight. If we ask that light of flashlight, can you light up the power cell inside the flashlight? Can it? It cannot be possible. Same way, can we ask five sense organs and mind, can you light up? Can you understand the consciousness? No, because all five sense organs and mind is conscious because of that consciousness. It's called aprameya. We will see at that time, but aprameya. Then fifth one is nirvikara, one who doesn't go any change, doesn't go under any change. Na jayate, na mriyate va kadachit. Our body used to go change. Asti jayate vardate viparinamate apakshiyate vinashyati. There are 6 types of modification of this body. But Atma, Chaitanya Tattva, our real nature is nirvikara. There is a no change. There is a no even modification. It's called nirvikara. One time I was thinking, we are a conglomerate of 3 things, no? We say one is Sthula Sharira, one is Sukshma Sharira, and one is Karana, ignorance. But when we say Sthula Sharira is made up of what? Panchamahabhuta, grossified Panchamahabhuta. So each jivas has Sthula Sharira, and each Sthula Sharira is made up of what? This grossified Panchamahabhuta. So each and everybody's Sthula Sharira are same. Only shape is different, but material inside the Sthula Sharira is same. Same way, subtle body. Each and every jivas, not even human being, I'm telling, but 84 crores, no? Totally, how much this different type of yonis? 84 lakhs something yonis. There are different type of jivas. Each have subtle bodies, but all subtle bodies also are made up of same matter. And what is that? Subtle Pancha Mahabhuta. So we all are same. At Sthula Sharira, we all are same, even at subtle body, but still all are fighting. Why we are fighting, we don't know. Everybody thinks we are separate from others. But really speaking, when we think everybody's, can we say puri is different from chapati? We can't say, because same dough we are using for puri also, same dough we are using for chapati also. Can we say dosa and idli is different as a matter level? No. Same way, everybody's body are same, but still we are fighting. And that sukshma, subtle body and gross body has vikaraha, modification, but our real nature is nirvikaraha. Nirgatam vikaraha yasmat, from which all modification has gone. That real Swarupa is called nirvikaraha. This is, I used to say, autobiography, you know. Autobiography means to write something about oneself. But Upanishad is autobiography of each and every person. And this is the same. These all are our autobiography. We used to write, we are born at this time, but it is not real. This is our real autobiography. And last one is, what is our real nature? We are akarta or bhokta. Karta means agent. We are an agent of our own action. But really speaking, we are not body, we are not mind. Then how can we become an agent of our action? So we are not agent of our action. And bhokta means experiencer. If we are not doing anything, then how can we have a result of our own action? So we are also a bhokta. These all 6 topics have been discussed by Krishna to Arjuna. Through Arjuna, we have to understand this is our own real nature. Even somebody says, if person is ready, means 100% sadhan chatushtaya sampanna adhikari, if that person is sadhan chatushtaya sampanna adhikari, and the teacher is like a Krishna, Yamadharma Raja, this 13th or 14th set of verses are good enough for Atmagyan. There is no need of any chapter, because these 11th to 25th verses are good enough for self-knowledge. That much these verses are important. And now dialogue will start between Arjuna and Krishna, because Krishna is teaching. So at that time I didn't discuss, but it says there are 4 types of dialogues. And the name of dialogues are given in Shastra are, one is called Vadaha, another is called Jalpaha, third one Vitandaha, and fourth one is Samvadaha. So what is Vadaha? Vadaha means healthy discussion. There are equal, some students are sitting and they are discussing. Suppose we are reading Gita home study, and if we are discussing each other, this discussion is called Vadaha. So we will get something after discussing, is called Vadaha. Another type of dialogue is called Jalpaha. There people met each other and they start talking, but why they are talking? To make other wrong. The topic of discussion is you are wrong. That type of discussion is called Jalpaha. Suppose there are many darshan shastras, Jaina, Bauddha, there are many. When they meet each other, what happened? They used to say, your theory is wrong, my theory is right, correct. This type of discussion is called Jalpaha. Whether you know or don't know, I don't know, but have you heard the name of Brahma Kumari? Brahma Kumaris? These Brahma Kumaris, they are boldly announce, we are not Hindu. Even though what Pujya Swamiji told us, there was a religious conference, international religious conference. So many sadhus have come from all over the countries. So in our country, there are many, some Shaiva, Vaishnava, then our Brahma Kumaris were there. There are many. Same way from different countries, many have come. Then there is an announcement from, if whoever comes from India, please get up and do your prayers. There was an announcement, and Pujya Swamiji was leading that conference. And Pujya Swamiji said, next to me, this Brahma Kumari was sitting. So when this announcement is done, we all get up to do our prayers. Sarva Bhavantu Sukhina, whatever. But that Brahma Kumari, she didn't get up. The Pujya Swamiji said, I told her, please get up. This is our announcement. Then she says, I'm not Hindu. And they say, this is wrong in your Hindu Shastra. And this, if we discuss with Brahma Kumari, it's called Jalpaha. Then Vitandaha means, we always, if some person say, you have to do, we never accept, we always disagree. Even they are right. Still, we never accept, because out of jealousy, we have some problem, and keep on discussing without accepting their advice or whatever is called Vitandaha. So both dialogue are negative. This is positive, but last one is called Samvadaha. And Samvada means this is also discussion, but in discussion also one attitude is there. Shishyasteham Tvam Prapannam is called attitude. A person has chosen his guru, and then guru start teaches. And oftenly Arjuna will ask. So this discussion is called Samvadaha. So 2 type of discussion is healthy. One is Vadaha, one is Samvadaha. So here, now Samvada will start. After 11th verse, Samvada will start between Krishna and Arjuna. In first 11th verse, Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Ashocyananvashocastvam Pragyavadanshcha bhashase गतासून गतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः. Bhagavan says, Panditaha nanushocanti. This is the main sentence. Panditaha nanushocanti. Really speaking, the Panditaha means wise person. Here Pandita means Atmagyan. Nanushocanti. They never grieve. They don't grieve. And there are 4 sentences in this verse. First one is, we will see in later verse. First one is, Krishna says, Tvam ashocyan anvashochaha. Krishna says to Arjuna, ashocyan means which are not deserve for grieving. For them, anvashochaha, you are grieving. And again, pragnavadanshya vasuse, when you are talking in first chapter, like you are a very wise person. Tvam pragnavadanshya vasuse, and panditaha, one who are really atmagyani, they are nanushocanti. They do not grieve for what? Gata asuna, agata asuna. Asuna means pranaha. Gataha means gone. One whose prana has gone, panditaha nanushocanti, and one's prana are still not has gone. For them also, panditaha nanushocanti. So, what is the subject matter of Gita means anushocanti. Shuch, grief, sorrow. The topic of whole Gita is sorrow, grief. And Krishna will teach how can we come out from this sorrow. But we will see next Sunday. Any question? Let me. Any question?
Swamini, the third Lakshana Sarvagataha, I didn't catch the meaning.
Sarvagata is all pervading. The meaning is Sarvatra Gacchati means one who is all pervading. One is everywhere. It's called Sarvagataha. Anything else?
Swamiji, you're saying about Atma. People don't like Atma. So for example, like when a person's body falls, people say, Atma has left and it is going to this loka, that loka, and all that. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Atma doesn't go, Jivatma goes. Whenever we say Atma left, but really speaking, Atma never left. Only Jivatma left. But one should know what is the difference between Atma and Jivatma. Someone who is identify oneself with subtle body is called Jivatma. I am this much limited person, it's called Jivatma. But one who is not, I am not body, mind, sense complex, is Atma. In this Atma game.
Because
traveling is only for Jivatma, not for Atma.
So it is said that the Atma is not in the body, but body is in Atma, like how pot is in space.
Yeah.
Space is not in the pot.
Yeah. Sometimes, people say, our Bhagavana is Vaikuntha. Somebody says, our Ishvara is Kailasadama. But we say, if Ishvara is everywhere, he is also in Kailas or Vaikuntha only. We have no problem. Because being everywhere, so he is also in Vaikuntha, he is also in Kailasa. We can give them answer. We should not say no to them.
Mm-hmm.
We give them respect. Whatever they say, then Jnana will understand. But if you
So
say,
Vedantin can embrace all of it without any problem.
so in Mandukya, there is one Karika is there. Aham te hi na viruddhite. We don't have any problem with anyone. Because Atma is encompassing everything,
Okay, anything can be projected on Atma. It accepts everything. Actually, I was thinking, Ravi, instead of saying body is an Atma, they say The mind is not in the body. The body is in the mind. And Swamiji, beautiful explanation, Swamiji. It reminds me of all the things that I once went through, but certainly came a beautiful refresher for me. It's just amazing how we put it together. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All six characters, lakshanas, not character, lakshana.
Yeah. And I think in order to understand that, you made that how the discussion happens is the only way. The attitude is the only way.
Without surrender, we never accept whatever is going on, you know. Otherwise, some starts thinking what is wrong in this in this teaching, what is correct, what is right. Something I have always marked. There people have many sadhus, many swamis and swaminis. They keep on listening from many swamis and swaminis. Then one new swami or new swamini has come. If he or she starts, then our mind starts what? Whether she is speaking right or wrong. But without attitude, we can compare. But if we have attitude, whatever she or he says is only Shastra, then we can listen openly. So attitude always makes a difference.
Yeah, beautiful, Swamini. Thank you. I also have heard, maybe I'm not recollecting correctly, there is a word called suspending your self-belief, meaning whatever you think you know, you have to suspend and really give to Shastra and Guru Vakya, you have to give credibility. Is it apohanam or something like that? Like you have to suspend your...
But suspend is not apohanam. The meaning of apohanam is covering.
Okay.
Hiding. Matta smriti gnanam apohanancha. In 15th verse, the Ishvara says, because from me also I can give memories, smriti. And because of me also, I covered also. Because we don't know our past life. Apohanam. Even we don't know what we have passed in our childhood. Apohanam. Everything is covered by Ishvara, which is we don't like. Some painful when we are in our childhood, some unconscious is built up, no? That is called also apohanam. There is one type of blessing only. This is unconscious also.
Yeah, sorry, I was interrupting. I was just saying, really speaking, one has to completely lose the individualism while using it to realize it's not true.
Yeah. Totally suspend her or his own ego. Just give to Shastra. Through teacher, then Shastra works, word will work. Otherwise, you won't.
Swaminiji.
And in our case, we have the best loving teacher possible, Swaminiji. It's just amazing.
Swaminiji, in the different types of discussion, what are the elements of healthy discussion? So when we talk to people every day in our lives, in our family, at work, better to have healthy discussion than trying to persuade them or whatnot. So what are the elements of a healthy discussion?
Really speaking, the healthy discussion is sometimes we think this person is not talking properly. If we are once, then we won't stop. We never tell them you are talking wrongly. Then it won't go further. It stops there only. But if you try to correct them, then this healthy won't start. That healthy discussion. For healthy discussion, more or less we have to keep mum whenever time needs. Then only if we talk, then it's broken.
That's the healthiest discussion.
Everybody thinks their thinking is right, more or less. So keep them allowed to speak. If we say and they accept us, then we can start. Otherwise, we have to keep mum. Puja Swamiji used to say, I always offer tea. Have you tea? Then stop. Then discussion is totally. If I don't want to listen, then I say, okay, this tea is very good, the coffee is very good. This totally this. We can't stop anyone. Let them do what they like. Now,
And that's the most practical way of understanding Atma, because Atma accepts everything.
yeah, we can't correct you. So without corrective acceptance, need a mature mind, you know.
I mean, it's I find it interesting, Swaminiji, that both Chandogya Upanishad and also the Gita starts with the Shochami thing, you know, this Shoka.
So it's, even in the our Bhashyam of Gita Bhashyam, Shankara says, Ahamete mama esham, whole samsara is nothing, they are mine, I am to them. And then this sorrow starts because of this bonding. If we know that even then need not to cut the bondage, but understanding this bondage is not real, then you can enjoy it. Otherwise, we always shochami. Something is something will happen. Shall we do Purnamada?
Okay. Namada Namidam Purnat Purnamudachyate
Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.